We are live.
We are live. What is up, everybody here at Unblinded Movement? So excited to be here with you on this Mastery Monday as we are accelerating. Things are happening. The world around us is continuing to shift. And more importantly, we have each other. And we have this beautiful place where we can connect and be together. I see that Sean is jumping in. Mr. Cal, are you here with us? And as we continue to allow more and more to flow in, I'm loving the numbers coming in. You can just drop some notes in the chat. We have so many new members. Can you let us know where you're calling in from, what your name is, and where you're calling in from? So in the chat, just drop that in there for us so we can start getting that on fire. That's going to be the way to connect with us here as the panelists. So please, let's take advantage of the chat. What's your name? Where are you calling from? A brief introduction. We'd love to know who's here with us. Jared, what's present for you, brother?
What is present to me is the fact that we're in a very real time, scary for many, yet it's happening for us, not to us. And that's not just like a headspace trick. Like, that's reality. Like, is there something that you've always wanted to do? And this is like a very loaded question that you didn't do simply because you didn't have the time. Like, the time was the reason why you didn't go out and write your book. The time was the reason why you didn't go out and create your course or launch your accountability program. The time was the reason why that you didn't go out and do whatever it was that time was preventing you from doing. And every single person right now that is being impacted by the current state, which is everybody, is now potentially stepping into a space where that time is no longer an issue, and the time is now an asset for them. So my challenge to everybody is step into your legendary. So when I'm present to Mr. Fernando Valencia is the fact that Unblinded is doing that as an example for everybody else. And we're going to be taking many, many people along for that ride.
That's awesome. And time is such a conversation right now. Most human beings say that that's what they're lacking. I want to write that book, as you mentioned. I just don't have time. I want to train my team. I just don't have time. I've been looking forward to like reaching out to my old customers and seeing what we can do together. I just don't have time. And that is like the single greatest access that's becoming present right now. It is the access to time.
Yeah. So, hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Ecosystem Merger Monday and Mastery Monday. And Fernando, good morning. Good morning, everybody out there. Thank you so much for being here. As we're having folks gather, Fernando, what is present for you and what's happening out there, sir?
What's present for me is the love within this ecosystem. What everyone is doing, I'm loving what we're posting on the Unblinded Facebook. More importantly, the action that's happening with the Mastery Program. And just a quick shout out to all of you as I sit and answer your assignments. It is incredible, the level of depth of your thinking, of your question asking, and more importantly, just on how you're integrating the formula. So what I'm clear about more than anything is that this is causing shifts. And I'm so excited about what we're doing on these Huddle, Sean, because I'm confident that with the commitment to mastery, massive acceleration is going to happen at a time where maybe like it doesn't feel that way. So that is what's present for me.
Yeah, I'm blown away and immensely. You know, one of the things that I have said to Michael Smikin for so long, I've said it to my children. I've said it to the baseball team I coach with the FA. I say it to Fernando, and now I say it to everybody here. To have your work understood and appreciated and applied for what it is. Not just like, oh, wow, like, you know, I really like the painting you painted. Or, wow, I understand that this like computer thing might be something, you know, if you're looking at the folks that develop the personal computer, or like to have the acceleration access and application by people transforming their life. Like, that's what this is about for me. It's about the fact that 23 years ago, I discovered the truth, not only in the fact that there could be acceleration in business, the same way as acceleration in playing a musical instrument for some, not for me, but for me athletically, academically in law school, then in moot court, which was my true beginning of understanding the power of influence, even though I didn't understand that fully. And those are stories that we're not going to drop into today, but they're present. Many of you know them. For those that, by the way, that are new here, what we're doing here every day is we're supporting people and making more money in less time, more magic, even during this time period. And the extent to which we're struggling and challenged to impact that right now in light of what's going on with the virus, we're creating innovations and accesses and ways to see if people can do that, and also preparing with the time that we have for what is when this ends in the relationship development, our skill development, our acceleration. And I want to put a flag in the ground today also, and I'll say it in the beginning and the end, that we're also committed to making this the #1 place in the world to start your morning and group dynamic. That's what this is, the #1 place, like the unblinded morning huddle, see what you don't see, about the greatest way to possibly start your day. And we're going to play with what that tagline is. So if you could throw some thoughts in to the group chat, that would be amazing. And I couldn't be more grateful. And we also are going to shift the format every day, and we're going to have access for a couple people to jump in, and we're also going to have a guest on each day. And Fernando, Jared, are we ready with our guest for today?
We are ready. Dr. Roger, the one and only Sahori, is present with us, my friend. Please take yourself off mute. Sean Callaghan, take it away.
All right.
Yeah, Dr. Roger Sahori, you present, brother?
I am here. Thank you, my brother, for having me on.
Yeah, so welcome. So just quickly, everybody, Dr. Roger Sahori, many of you may know him. What blows my mind about him are not only his incredible gifts of healing, and I want to drop in and talk about that for a moment through the prism of mastery. Everything that we're going to talk about in these huddles in support of people are going to be related to the application of formula. And the folks that come on, they're going to also be open to, and Roger, Dr. Roger, I'm not sure if you know this, so hopefully you do, you're ready to go, some acceleration and some coaching. So it's not just going to be within the formula, and to reveal the truth of who they are and what their greatness is. So first, Dr. Roger, I say healing, you say one word what? I say healing, you say one word what?
God.
Yeah. I say mastery, you say one word what?
Self.
Amazing. I say ignorance about Dr. Roger Sahori. You say one word what?
Blind.
Amazing. All right. So, sir, you have studied so many different ways for people to access healing. You did some beautiful things in your work with me related to my elbows. Like, what is this man doing? Like, this is like crazy stuff. And it was amazing. And you're touching me places and doing things to my body. And when I think of you, the word that pops for me is mastery. Like, that pops, like mastery. So you have your office in Paramus, New Jersey, not far from our office. You're a part of, I believe, the Ultimate Achievers Club, which is something you have to be accepted in. It's an amazing national organization. You're a leader there. You're one of the leaders in the voice on a number of fronts in chiropractic in New Jersey and even nationally. So just, giving us the 60-second background, Roger, how did you go from, I want to help people, to being such a master of your craft?
It all started with a life-changing motorcycle accident as I was studying to become a medical doctor. And I was left to die with a ton of challenges, was at a point where I was suicidal, ready to take my life. And when I was at that point, because no one was able to help me, then God led me to a corrective-based chiropractor who showed me that I could find darkness in that I could find light in the state of darkness, which I did. And then my body began to heal because of God's intelligence and wisdom and through that work. And then from there, I wanted to become a sponge, and I wanted to become a master at my art, which was, hey, God chose me to become a chiropractor. So I became a chiropractor. I didn't choose it. It chose me. And then from there, I wanted to learn every single technique out there. And then I went to neurology training, learned functional medicine before it became functional medicine, learned a bunch of different emotional techniques, and got certified in over 50. And then from there, it was about, just continuously progressing and learning as new cases came in. And we've seen approximately 300,000 patient visits since I've been open. So had a lot of training from newborns to, to people who are transcending to be with God. So, you know, my heart was just always in it to empower, inspire, educate people, and adjust them to getting to their God-given health potential. So I did everything that it would take to get there.
Yeah, so Bunch jumps out for me. Thank you for that. I acknowledge you for your beautiful energy, your eloquence. I also acknowledge you for 50 certifications, 50 certifications. I also am curious, because very present for me is the word God. So let's come back to God in a moment. But first, 50 certifications. Why 50 certifications? And by the way, because we're doing bullet work, and with the guests we're going to have on the show, we're going to talk for about 5 to 7 minutes. And so, Fernando, we'll get to 5 minutes. Let's have a 5-minute warning at 7. Say 7, please. And then we're going to do from there is we're also going to do lengthier interviews off Huddle. So this is like the introduction to people, and then we're going to drop in more. So this is like the quick highlights to touch. 50 certifications. Why 50 certifications? 10-second answer.
It's exactly what I needed to do in order to be able to be fully equipped to make an impact in this world as a leader to my patients and to providers out there.
Okay, amazing. How is it that when you saw my elbow was an issue, you started touching like my chest in a spot, and you're like, okay, it's like, it's going to be sore here, boom. And then you touch somewhere else and like somewhere else, and you like release those spots. Like, what was happening, and why is that? So why is that something that you think most chiropractors don't do, right? Like, why is it? So we're accessing mastery right now. And what is the differential that led you to touch like my chest and wherever else you're touching? And I was amazed. And I've been, I'm not easily amazed. I've been involved in holistic healthcare for over 35 years, and I have some brilliant, amazing people I work with. What was going on? Like, what was that?
Well, you know, that was my own technique, right? And for me, I took a compilation of everything that I've learned and brought it into my own mastery, and that's what is exactly what you experienced that day. And you know, there are specific, when somebody shows up and presents with a certain type of, let's say, symptom, which is what you did. Well, I know that there are specific areas of the body that I must check to see if they're subluxated in those areas. And the second that I begin to release those, that your whole body will come back into a state of balance and harmony. So just from experience and applying my own formula, right, is exactly how I do that.
Yeah. So I'm hearing the word formula again. And when you look at the way most of healthcare is run, again, 15-second answer on the traditional model of healthcare for sustaining optimal health. You say in 15 seconds what?
They're living a sick care paradigm, not a healthcare. They're doing the outside in approach, and it's really an above down, inside out approach. And when you begin to look at it that way, you begin to get really healthy.
Okay. And quickly, and I don't want to be absolutely respectful, but let's go 20 seconds. Why did we hear God's name 4 to 5 times in the 1-minute introduction to your amazingness? And by the way, I honor that. I acknowledge that. So why God? Like, where does that fit in?
I'll tell you, because I don't do the healing. God does the healing, right? It's like, you know, if you cut your skin, what does your body do? It forms new skin, right? It's not the Neosporin that'll heal it. It's not the Band-Aid that'll heal it. It's the intelligence that's within. And we were blessed with it from God when he gave us 2 cells that came together and formed trillions of cells in our bodies that created the makeup of who we are. So the power that made the body has the ability to heal the body. It's something that's very prevalent to me. So that's really where God came from. You know, it's God's intelligence, God's wisdom that created every aspect of us. So that's who the greatest healer is, right? It's never the chiropractor. And if chiropractic didn't work for somebody, it's not chiropractic that didn't work. It was the chiropractor, because God's intelligence and healing always works as soon as you remove the subluxations and allow the intelligence and wisdom to do what it needs to do.
And when did God become part of your life? Because it seems like he's a deep part of your why. Yes?
Yeah. God was instilled into me from when I was a child. Right. But then I also had some reservations about it, until I got into my motorcycle accident. And, you know, he literally, you know, it was like I was looking at my body and it was just really a conversation with God, you know, not letting me leave. And then recently, again, I was in Israel, and I was going through a lot of challenges, and I took my entire family. Yeah, I went through the whole story, but I'm just giving a short clip here. Took my entire family to Israel, and we got baptized in the Jordan River. And some people think I'm crazy, but you know, my daughter had a sty in her eye. When we got baptized, she came out and the sty was gone. Then we went over to where God was, you know, where Christ was laid, after he was crucified on this stone, and it was blood all over there. And as you know, on there, that was still embedded into the stone. And as we walked through, I felt this strong energy, and I'm very in tune with energy. And as I started walking over there, I touched the stone, and next thing that happens, I have tears running down my face as I touch the stone. My body goes into this heat of like 200 plus degrees. And next thing you know, I'm having a conversation here where some people would say, dude, this guy's cuckoo, but I'm telling you, it happened. And it was incredible. And it was really about surrendering. And my wife looked at me and she goes, what just happened? Because I was applying all the principles that I teach people, but there was just a lot that hit me at one time. And you and I talked about this, Sean. And, and the second that experience occurred is where I felt completely enlightened, and that I didn't need to walk through this path ever alone. I just need to lean in on God more. So God has been extremely prevalent. And when I came home, just to give a little briefing, I had this IRS audit, and that just went away. My ceiling collapsed in my building, which was like a $350,000 job, and nobody was going to pay for it, not even the insurance companies. And all of a sudden I come back from that experience, and a landlord is willing to help out here. And then I was going through an insurance audit, with an insurance carrier, and that all started to lift. So all of this happened all at one time. So that's where, you know, it just continuously shows up in my life, you know, so I'm just very strong connected to God.
Roger, incredible.
Amazing.
Sean, I want to let you know we are 7 minutes in.
Okay, great. So we'll go last minute and a half. So Roger, thank you for that phenomenal show, and acknowledge you for your courage and your vulnerability for sharing about your faith and a unique story. In our world today, a lot of folks are afraid and uncomfortable sharing. So congratulations on boldly stepping in. 300,000 patients, your practice is insanely uniquely busy. At a process mastery level, can you share with people what you've done related to stages and microphones? Because brother, you got a stage in your practice.
Yeah.
So let's give some edification for the program, how you built it. 15 seconds. What did you do with a stage and a microphone in your career to get to 300,000 visits and as busy as you are?
Love blasting people, right? Treating people as if they're your own family. You know, when you begin to put people first in all stages, whether they're your people that work with you, we call them purpose partners, right? Not employees, or they're your.
Can I jump in, bro? Can I jump in, Roger?
Yep.
So I'm going to acknowledge you for this. Your influence mastery. There's love. There's draw. There's pull. Your people are amazing. Please tell everybody though, on a process mastery level, meaning how often did you speak? When did you start speaking? And how did that build? Like give some validation for people out there right now listening that may be great at doing it already or afraid to step in and start publicly speaking, merging with groups of people. I think you've done corporate talks and you have a stage in your practice. So
Yes.
Just practically.
So do you want process of all of it? So I mean, I could tell you we have something. So when they come in, we have our initial examination process. From there, we move them into what we call a doctor's report, where I'm speaking to everybody in a group setting and empowering them on understanding what's going on. Then what happens is we do a one-on-one breakout. So now we're doing that. After that, we do something called Mission Possible when they start up for care. And at that point in time, we're engaging them to get referrals to speak at corporations, churches, organizations, referring family members and friends in. Then we do dinner talks once a month. We do workshops once a month. And then I go out and I speak on different stages as well for not only my chiropractic or my holistic wellness center, but also for my Sprint Set energizing weight loss system and my Gladiator corporate health and wealth.
So what I'm hearing is you treat your patients amazingly.
Yeah.
You demonstrate the superpower of what you're doing for them. And then you create ecosystem mergers with your patients that are generating additional talks and flow. Is that right? Of relationship development for you, spreading your messaging. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, they become part of our search and rescue squad, right? That's our one group that we have. We have our Inspire Others, where they're also giving testimonials and stuff. And then we have our Helping Hands, where they come out and they actually are part of assisting and supporting us in whatever we're doing. So yeah.
And you keep saying we, because it's been you and your team that's engaged at a high level. So that's not you doing only it. It's your teammates that are doing such an outstanding job as you've leveraged and scaled. Yes?
Yes, they do. They do most of it. So it's never a me thing.
Right.
It's always a we thing.
Yeah. So with Corona and we're in our final minute with Dr. Roger, what's your biggest fear right now? Like, and maybe it's not Corona, but what is your biggest fear right now? Let's speak first within Corona, and then let's go.
My biggest fear isn't the coronavirus. It is the hysteria and the fear that has been put out there from the actual news and what they're doing governmentally wise and everything that has instilled so much fear in the people that, you know, you can't even walk. Just the conversations that we're having is all in fear. And what that's doing is it's creating a very immunocompromised system for everybody that's out there. And it's not creating a state that you're getting closer to God. It's actually pulling people away from God if they're in that hysteria. So that's where I say, tap into God, whatever your faith is, tap into that. Or tap into yourself, build relationships with your family, create, this is a time to create. I'm doing that right now on so many different levels. And, I always say, look at God first, pour into your health right now. People are destroying their health right now. They got to be pouring into their health right now. Connect with your family, and then it'll be important to serve your mission in life.
Awesome. And how do you feel, final question,
yeah.
What draws you to the Unblinded movement and this formula and the work that we're doing here?
Unblinded is an incredible organization that is really unblinding people from the limiting belief systems that they have, right? When we look at a limiting belief system, there's a 3-letter word in the middle of the word believe, and it's a lie. And many people have been telling themselves a lie for so long, and it's time to get out of that state and take that impossible and turning into I am possible. And Unblinded gives them that pathway to do that. And I'm just extremely grateful for all that you're doing, Sean, and everybody else on the Unblinded team. You're all incredible. I'm excited to be part of it. And every single person should be engaged in it. And I don't stop talking about it. I mean, I was just on a plane and I was, telling the person next to me, before your event, there was somebody on a plane with me too. She came to the event the next day, she landed and I got her to the event. I always talk about Unblinded because I know it is going to make a huge impact in anyone's life. And it's incredible. It's incredible what you've been doing. It's something that I love being part of. So thank you very much for that, Sean.
Yeah. At the sake of time today, we'll expand on all that. Thank you, Dr. Roger. And I'm so honored to have somebody who's been there, seen it all, heard it all, that sees this work program and formula for what it is, that sees me and the team for what we are. I'm immensely grateful. Thanks for jumping on. And if you'll do me the honor, I'd love to do a webinar together and dive much deeper into things and see how we can even accelerate you unveiling your truth. You're incredible. You're at 9.999, right? How we could even access maybe one more 9 and how you display who you are and what you do, because it is remarkable and fascinating. Your energy is infectious. And I'm super grateful. And would you do me the honor of doing a webinar together?
Absolutely. I'd love to dive deeper, Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Let's do it. Have a beautiful day, and thank you for that access. So what is present for you, everyone, as we thank Dr. Roger for his time and his energy? What is present for you about that call? Here's what's present for me, right? And throw it in the chat, and I'll ask if there's any comments, thoughts, questions in a moment. Fernando, Jared, what's present for me is somebody who is absolutely committed to mastery. Like, this is a common denominator. His skill development at what he did, Dr. Roger, was utterly remarkable. 50 certifications. My hallucination would be post any schooling, most people would get certified in none, let alone 5, certainly not 10. Oh my God, 25? No, 50. Completely insane. So I am honored and inspired by his commitment to mastery and his investment in his own skill development. Second, the dude lives stage and microphone. Hear him. He lives process mastery, stage, and microphone. What he's doing is constantly creating new relationships and generating additional ecosystem mergers. For those that are new, ecosystem merger means accessing a group of people led and influenced by another group of people. The United States is an ecosystem. Your church is an ecosystem. The school system is an ecosystem. You are an ecosystem. The chiropractors of New Jersey are an ecosystem. The Bar Association subdivision of immigration lawyers is an ecosystem. It is a group of leadership, and that commonly identifies itself that once you influence the leadership, you influence them. So Dr. Roger speaking in corporations, et cetera, as well as grounding in his own office with a stage and doing a series of different talks from weight loss to health and chiropractic, everything that he's doing, and dropping the mic constantly by demonstrating and sharing massive value and his unique identity. 300,000 plus people. That's what you just heard the man say. 300,000, right? To get to that stage, this is how he did it. He lives the formula: process mastery, influence mastery. You feel drawn to him. He conveys his identity, and his self-mastery has obviously been extraordinary to consistently follow through on everything he's saying, and even having enough boldness and confidence to share some stories that people go, well, that might be a little bit weird. I don't know if I'd have the courage to say that. And he did. Incredible level of self-process and influence mastery equals tremendous success, living a life on purpose, and accelerating, not leaving anything where it is, accelerating massively right now. So, Fernando, Jared, we got any questions, thoughts, comments out there in the chat?
The chat is on fire. No specific questions, Mr. Callaghan. Does absolutely exceptional. Roger, thank you for your sharing. And I've never had another man
let's
crack my
acknowledge,
neck
or
the way
Jared,
you
let's
did.
acknowledge a couple people. Who's commenting? Let's name a couple names, see what people are saying out there.
Yes. So some names here. Rocky Adams. What is present for me is a beautiful human with faith and is committed to helping other people through his area of genius. Some other comments, and there are tons. Leibs says, Doc, you have so much in you. Thanks for sharing a part of yourself with us this morning. Mike said, love that idea of purpose partners, and believe makes it possible. Final, we have Erica, purpose partners, search and rescue, inspire others, helping hands, never a me thing. I love this man. Dr. Roger Zahori touched everybody's heart, soul, and spirit. Thank you, my friend, for being present. For everybody out there that's now tuning in, whether you're tuning in on our live stream on Facebook or you're on our Zoom, I'm going to encourage you, head over to unblindedhuddle.com. Make sure you sign up. It's free so that we can send you reminders through email and text each morning, and make it a commitment to invite one person that you care about deeply to sign up today as well. Yes, this obviously will help Unblinded. It will help you even more, and it will help them the most, and that's what's needed right now in the world. Sean, back to you for final.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. And we're going to keep innovating the format. We're going to try to keep those interviews to 7 minutes. The purpose is to inject energy, to unleash access to successful people. And it doesn't have to be Bill Gates successful, but Dr. Roger Zahori leads a beautiful and successful life. And we're going to unmute people and have hands raised as we go forward. And have people jump in with their 30-second shares of what's present for them. And what is present for me as we bring it home for today, here's what's present for me. Jumping in the ocean yesterday. If you didn't see that video yet, check it out. It was in the 20s with the wind chill. I certainly didn't want to do it, and jumped in the ocean that was about 45 degrees, and it hit me like an anvil in the head, and it was a tremendous state shift, a grounding. Get yourself outside, get your shoes off outside, connect with the ground in your yard, your area, stay healthy, right, obviously, but just like connect, right, connect. And if you're in a state and a place that you're having difficulty doing that, you're inside the city, you're isolated, find yourself some space to get outside a little bit. Connect with your heart, your soul on the one hand, and on the other hand, connect with people, phone calls, virtuals, ecosystem mergers. As Jared said, bring people to the huddle. Plug yourself in, and then after the huddle, call people and say, hey, what was present for you? What do we do now? Take action, webinars, podcasts, connecting and building. That's what is present for me on this Ecosystem Merger Monday. I challenge you to create a higher level of access to people than you ever have before, to think about what are the greatest ecosystems that you can merge with, what are the easiest ecosystems that you can merge with. Take action when we get off this huddle. I'm deeply honored. Fernando, any final from you?
That is all, Mr. Kagi. Thank you for the thought, and blessings to everyone in the movement.
Yep. Tomorrow, it is Trajectory Tuesday. We're going to have another guest on for tomorrow. Rocketing forward. Let's make it happen. Be commenting all day. Let's stay connected and build this ecosystem to beyond. Thanks.